Hey guys, it's Jacques Hartman here, and we're gonna do another trust equals action walkthrough where I choose some copy, whether it be Facebook ad. Today it's gonna be a landing page, a sales page specifically, and we're gonna walk through the concepts that I talk about in my book. So if you haven't gotten the book yet, if you haven't read it, you should definitely do that now. I'll give you a link to download the book below this video, or depending on if you're seeing this on Facebook, it'll be in the description above the video. But you definitely need to get the book before you watch this, or this isn't going to make any sense to you. And the people who do read the book and watch this are going to be at a huge advantage. So, if that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. Okay. Anyway, today we're going to look at Digital Marketer for their Boomerang traffic uh, execution plan, as they call it. So let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so here we're at Digital Marketer's Boomerang traffic page, and I have no idea what this is, but so it's a case study, but whatever, that doesn't matter. Branding, I guess that's a little bit of belief. By the way, I'm gonna go through this sort of quickly because look at how long this is, right? It's really long. So I'm gonna try and go through this in one go, but if it cuts out, then I didn't, I failed at one go. But I'm gonna try my best to do this quickly and in one shot, so that I use your time to the max. You get the most value out of your time. Okay, this side is going to have the trust scale stuff, and this side is going to have what exactly this adds. So for this landing page, we're going to assume that this is for acquaintances, so it would look like this, or for friends, which would look like this. Right? So, keeping that in mind, we'll check out the headline first. Right here. Now, this is very obviously a skeptic-proof headline. Skeptic-proof headline. Right? And this adds belief and desire, and it keeps the scale equal. Scale unchanged. That's what a skeptic-proof headline does. And specifically, this is a story type, right? How we practically doubled our sales leveraging this little used boomerang traffic pixel strategy, right? So this automatically has curiosity because they labeled it something different, and they're not making a direct promise. It's implied. If you find out how they doubled their sales, then maybe you can do it too. So that's what they're going to try to prove here. Or at least I'm assuming. I haven't really gone through this yet. So let's see. We got a picture here, right? And this would add proof. So this would add belief because it's a case study. And 306 total sales. They already back up, even though this was an implied promise. They didn't make a direct promise. They already are backing it up. They're stacking belief right now, right? Bunch of belief in here. So this would shift down now, right? So actually, I think I'm just going to do little arrows where this would be belief, and then this would be desire, and then whenever there's an up arrow, it adds belief, and whenever there's a down arrow, or an up arrow here, it adds desire. That seems like it'll work. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, moving on. Out of 306 total sales, 129 of those sales, or 42%, came from our Boomerang campaign, and we saw an immediate ROI of 126%. The ROI was actually much higher when factoring in upsells and follow-up sales. Keep reading to see how we did it. Notice this whole thing is still an implied, it's just an implied promise. The whole thing adds belief and desire at the same time. That's how you get people to read. That's how you get people to keep reading without setting off their BS detector or without getting them bored, right? If they just went and said, you can see an immediate ROI of 126% just like we did, that would add more desire than belief. And that would not be good. Then here you can see this is actually the same thing as this, right? Why? It's the same reason for the Derek Halpern one, the Derek Halpern video where he had the how to get 5,000 subscribers for the Facebook ad, and then he had the same thing on his landing page. That was to like keep the AdSense going, right? So they know they're in the right place. But this, it's sort of the same. It's just that most people aren't going to read this part. So for those people, some people just look at the picture and think, oh yeah, okay, this looks legit, right? This is all they want them to see, these arrows. And then this is where they restate this to add belief. So belief would be up here. Belief up. And this is just a case study, normal case study, right? Okay, let us continue. How you can follow up and convert your non-buyers into paid customers, even if you don't have their email address. Woo! We got some desire! Okay, let's go back up here. I want to show you something. They had... This is where this left them like this. This is a D, right? So they stacked on more belief than desire here. At the end of this is where it left them. This stuff. Right here. Now, this shifts the scale back to something like this. Belief, desire, right? So it hasn't completely equaled out yet, but they did it. How did they do it? They added how you can follow up and convert your customers, convert your non-buyers into paid customers. So this is just a benefit, and then we got here, even if you don't have their email address. Curiosity, right? See, because this isn't enough. This is not enough. This is curiosity, and they can imagine the benefit of it. So it's sort of a hidden benefit type thing, right? Moving on. It seems that everyone these days is talking about using Facebook ads and other paid traffic strategies. That's smart. Facebook is a great source of traffic, but here's the problem. If you're only buying Facebook ads, you're losing up to 58% of your sales. Right here, what they're doing is increasing the perceived value by agitating the problem. Actually, they are introducing the problem and agitating it at the same time. Well played, digital marketer, well played. Okay, and then here we were. This is just a little bit of belief, right? Just a little tiny bit. So in general, what this is going to do is increase desire, and then it'll be balanced right now, right? So it's just balanced. Fortunately, we were able to plug this hole in our marketing plan by deploying Boomerang-style follow-up ads to everyone who hits our site, even if they don't opt in or buy. So here we have curiosity from this. Fortunately, we were able to... We have a little mechanism right here, Boomerang style, which adds belief. Follow-up ads to everyone who hits our site. Okay, that's it. So they introduced the solution already. So this adds more desire than belief. Desire's up. It's called retargeting, and that is a depressing statement because I wish they called it something else. A lot of people know what retargeting is. Well, anyway, let's assume they don't know what retargeting is, in which case they have now introduced the solution. So, but they didn't attach anything to it yet. But desire still goes up. Desire still up. So right now the scale is sort of tipped to desire, right? Chances are you've heard of retargeting. Okay. You may have even set up a campaign or two because you likely understand that sales rarely occur on the first visit. Okay. There they're adding belief because they're showing their knowledge about this stuff, right? And if they didn't know that, then this adds perceived value plus perceived value, right? Think about it. Even if your site has an amazing conversion rate, that still means that a 90 to 95% of your visitors are leaving without making a purchase. And then again, agitating the problem plus perceived value. So the scale is even more tilted. And by the way, notice how they're tying everything together, right? They tied in from losing up to 58% of their sales to that still means 90 to 9. They're just saying it in different ways, really, right? They're just backing it up in different ways. They're agitating the problem in different ways. So again, you probably know you should be following up. You probably even want to follow up. The challenge is most marketers simply don't know how to follow up, especially to their leavers. So perceived value once again. And now they tie it into that. So what about you? Are you following up with your visitors, including the ones that haven't opted in or bought from you? Plus perceived value. Heck, did you even know that you could follow up with people that visited your site but never opted in? Plus perceived value, and the whole time they're adding belief. Actually, just in this one. Did you even know that you could follow up with people that visited your site? There's the mechanism. You can follow up with people that visited your site, even though it doesn't really make sense with chances are you've heard of retargeting. If they have, then they know this stuff. So I probably would have gotten rid of this. All of this right here, I would have gotten rid of this. Okay. Yes, it is actually possible to follow up with your website visitors even without having their contact information. So they're just introducing retargeting still. So this is all just education, and this adds belief, plus belief. In fact, there's a new feature in Facebook that launched very, very recently, and it allows you to segment your audience based on pages they visit and then show them follow-up ads, even if they never opted in. Again, plus belief by showing the mechanism. This is how it happens. And it also is an implied promise, because imagine the power of being able to do this. For someone who doesn't know what retargeting is, that sounds pretty good, right? It's called website custom audiences. Well, there's a switch. The whole time, I thought they were talking about retargeting when they were talking about website custom audiences. And that's how they retarget. Okay? And it's one of the lowest cost ways to follow up with your hottest prospects and increase your sales. Look at this. Plus desire. Finally, a direct promise. Finally, after all of this build-up, finally, a direct promise here. Aha! Here's proof. The scale is here. I was going to say this. The scale still like this. They stacked on a lot of desire there. And they're on the verge of tilting. It's gonna crumble. This is all gonna crumble. But they don't expect, don't take their word for it. Here's the proof. Oh, they saved this from all crashing and burning by immediately going into proof. You see? Case study number 1. 212 blog post ideas. So this is all, I'm assuming, it's just going to be proof. I don't even want to go through this all. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go through all this. All of this you can read on your own if you want, but this is all just implied promises with, whoops, this is all just implied promises with a bunch of belief, right? Jeez. That is a lot. Look at how much I had to scroll up. Okay, so this is all a big stack of belief, safe to say. So, if it's so, oh, I can move it up, cool. If it's so easy, why aren't more people doing it? See? Now they already know that people are going to think, can I do it? Like, look at all of that proof. So, minus perceived cost. This proof makes it look easy. All the implied promises they did there. But the scale after all this is like, we can say it's like this, right? We can say it's relatively safe to say that it's like this. If it's so easy, why aren't more people doing it? Minus the perceived cost that's about to come up, which then pulls this down, right? Because desire is promise times perceived value plus curiosity minus perceived cost. Reducing perceived cost, you increase the desire. because perceived cost starts off with a value, right? So by reducing the value, you increase desire. Like, it's sort of an inverse relationship. Okay, anyway, simple. They didn't know it was possible. So again, minus perceived cost. Or they thought it, oh, another one. Or they thought it was too complicated to get started. If you haven't launched your first retargeting campaign yet, I'm going to show you how to do just that today in less than 60 minutes. So, here we go. Minus perceived cost. Now they got the desire equal to belief with the benefit right here. Time, see, time, energy, and whoop, they haven't gotten to the capital yet. And no, you don't have to have any traffic yet. In fact, this works better when you set this up before you've started running traffic, because you'll maximize that traffic from the beginning. Okay. Again, minus perceived cost, because this gets rid of one of their doubts, one of their objections, right? Yep, once you have my secret checklist, you'll be able to launch your own retargeting campaigns in under an hour. Again, the time benefit, allowing you to finally reach back out to your hottest prospects that you thought you'd lost forever and draw them back to your offers. This is a bunch of desire. So the scale's like this now. They're on the verge of tipping desire. And even if you're an experienced advertiser, I promise that once you see our simple 4-step retargeting process, belief minus perceived cost, right here, this, I promise that once you see our simple 4-step retargeting process, you'll be getting cheaper clicks and more returning leads than you ever thought possible. So minus perceived cost, belief, still desire, they are, uh-oh, this is on the verge. It's about to tip. It is literally about to tip. But what happened here? This is different. Are they going to add belief? Really? It is. With so many marketers talking about retargeting these days, you may be thinking you've seen this before. However, this isn't your normal perfect audience or ad roll retargeting strategy. Trust me, it's unique. So, what are they doing? Adding belief. Belief. Right? Alternative. Reducing the alternative and adding belief. And once you see what I'm doing, once you have my cherished checklist, you'll be generating traffic and leads on demand just like me. Now, I would say that I would cut this out, because that probably tipped the scale over. Anyway, you've already seen one of my campaigns that generated nearly half of our sales in just a few days using retargeting. So they're trying to add some belief here. This was easy to set up and automate, and now the campaign continues to run and update itself dynamically. The reality is we do this over and over again, building simple retargeting campaigns for all of our products and for each step of our funnels, and they work around the clock for us to generate repeat visitors and new sales. Again, belief. Whoops. Belief. Now it's your turn. And to make it easy on you, I'm going to do what no one else is doing. I'm not going to give you a few tricks and hacks, minus perceived cost. I'm going to take you step by step, start to finish, through all the buttons you need to click to launch your own retargeting campaign. minus perceived cost. Whoops. Soon, hot, low-cost retargeted leads will be pouring into your funnels, and you will have done it. You will be able to do it over and over. So this is all adding desire, right? But to do it, you'll need my checklist. I wanted to say that this is reducing perceived cost, right? And it's adding belief. And this is adding belief as well, because they're saying that's what they're doing. But I would get rid of this too. That's just adding too much. Unless they are friends, then it would work. But this isn't gonna work. I would have gotten rid of that. Most people probably left. The ultimate cheat sheet for Facebook retargeting. Actually, to call it a checklist isn't giving it justice. This is more like a checklist on steroids. I would get rid of this too. I just used this because bullets are unique. I didn't talk about this in the book because it's a little confusing, and I wanted to make it, even though it's already a little confusing in the book, but I mean, why else would you be watching this video? Anyway, the bullets, for some reason, they add desire without really shifting the trust scale. For some reason, when somebody sees bullets, it isn't as, if you put this in a sentence, then it would add more desire than when they're in bullet form. I don't know why it's like that, but it definitely is. And within these bullets, you'll find a bunch of mechanisms, which I don't want to get into right now. I'll probably get into them in a later video, but yeah, so this adds desire too, but not that much, okay? Just wanted to let you know that. Personally, I wouldn't attempt this strategy without having a proven step-by-step guide to follow, and this is especially true if you're doing it for someone else, i.e. a client or a boss. I mean it. Don't launch a Facebook retargeting campaign without this plan. Okay. So, it's increasing the perceived value. But what I would have done is I would have put a little more proof in here, because this is really starting to push it. You know, you can really start feeling the hype here. Don't launch a Facebook retargeting campaign without this plan. So this is they're starting to fall off here. The trust scale has officially been broken with desire. I would have added a bit more, because you see how they added a lot of belief here, right? But the thing is, I would have split this up or added another one, because this is just a lot of desire here. So hopefully they add some belief. I want you to crush it, even if it's your very first campaign. Unfortunately, as a digital marketer, we've already done all the hard work. I made all the mistakes and figured out what works and what doesn't. And believe me, we made our fair share of mistakes along the way. And we do this stuff for a living. Okay, here we go. That adds some belief. Right? Because they did it. They went through all this stuff. That's why they can do it. That makes sense. That's why we're so careful. Aha! Here it is. More belief. They say they document what works, and that's where they get it. That's where the execution plans come from. So it's not that they just came up with this. They actually document what worked for them to follow. Okay, see? So that's actually pretty much what they said way at the beginning of this letter, but they just said it differently, right? So you can add belief with the same really proof element, but just say it in a different way, and it'll add more belief. You can do that with benefits too. You can do that with promises. You just say it in a different way, that with a different angle, and you'll be able to leverage one proof element or one piece of benefit more than once. So let's move on. In the past, these execution plans were mine alone, but now I'm making a select few available to the public. You'll see why in just a minute. So you see how this, again, this adds desire too much. But luckily, he adds just a little bit of belief. Just a teensy tiny bit. Desire again. But for a very limited time. I would probably say why right now, because now it's starting to sound unbelievable again. Right? Literally, you can have one of those fancy car bucks. Aha! Reducing the perceived cost by comparing it. Oops. By comparing it to a coffee. Right? So, I mean, you can just get a coffee, or you can make a lot more money. You can buy 100 coffees. That's what I would do. I would say, you can either buy a fancy coffee at Starbucks, or you can spend it here and then buy hundreds of fancy coffees at Starbucks, you know? That's, yeah, so what would you rather do? What's more important to you? Short-term gain, or are you a long-term winner? Huh? That's what I would say. Anyway, click the add to cart button, start retargeting campaign today. So, where is they explain execution plan, so this is all reducing perceived costs because of the anxiety that they're having. Here they overcome price. Here they overcome anxiety, like not knowing what they're gonna get really. Here's the time element. Here's another reducing the perceived cost with money, in terms of money. And aha. So, let's go back here, because I'm pretty sure he said you'll see why in just a minute. In the past, but now I'm making a select. Aha! So he didn't. He said you'll see why in just a bit, but he didn't even say why. Come on. Why? Why are you making it available to the public? Let's try and see here. Maybe he, okay, well this is good. We tested it. See, honesty. I don't know why they're putting this down here. I hate frequently asked questions, to be honest. Don't make them wait. Okay, so I'm going to tell you why. Because once they get here, right, they're already going to have this question in their mind. That's where they're going to have the question. They're not, and then if they go down here, they see frequently asked questions, and then they don't see this part because it's so small, right? Or whatever. They don't, or they might not even think that $7 that's a frequently asked question. So why not eliminate it right when the objection comes up? I don't get it. I don't know. But so they have violated some trust equals action concepts here, as we have seen. $7 puts this information in the reach of everyone. So, okay, I might go over this and say what is wrong with this stuff, because your customers aren't stupid, right? That's mind shift one of the mind shifts, and I would have gotten rid of this. $7. What are you, like? Are you in it for just charity? People aren't going to believe that anymore. Oh, jeez. Okay. No offense to Digital Marketer, I actually have this product, and it's good, right? It's a good product. I'm only trying to show you, to educate you on how to sell your product better, and if you have a good product, then you should definitely follow what I've shown you here. Mainly, what you want to do is when an objection comes up, don't put it in your frequently asked questions. Or if you're going to have a frequently asked questions, then okay, let me word it this way. If I had to use one of these frequently asked questions, then I would put this here anyway. There's no rule that says you can't have a frequently asked questions and answer the questions where they pop up at the same time. Nobody's gonna be mad at that. Okay? So, alright. Let's see, anything else? Nope. So, I'm gonna go back at the beginning really quick. They did well here, right? Well, I'll go over and tell you where the trust scale tipped. So, it tipped here. Here's where it tipped. Look at all that perceived value, all that desire, not much belief. Then they tried to bring it back. For the people, if they were going for, what was it here, friends, then this would work, right? They'd still have this, it would be fine. And then they stack up a bunch of belief after they put a bunch of desire in, so that shifts it back. And then reducing the perceived cost goes through, adds a bunch of desire, belief, reduce perceived costs, increase desire, and then here's where they start losing it, right? They just started losing it with desire here. But they tried to bring it back. And overall, it's not bad. There's just some things that could have been improved. So if you noticed, by the way, that when you go through this and you start feeling like a little, like this is too much hype, you know? This just sounds wrong. It feels like too good to be true. That's when you know the trust scale has tipped in terms of desire. That's where you need to add some belief. Okay, or just use implied promises, because you can use implied promises. Never make a direct promise, and you will. You can still get them to buy by doing that. Honestly, it's not. There's no reason you have to directly promise anything, although you can. Okay, if you like this video and you want more great content, head on over to jacqueshartman.com, and if you like this video and found it valuable, please share it wherever you want, wherever you aggregate or spend your social time on social media, whether that's Facebook or Twitter or whatever, because it really helps me out a lot when you share it, and I want to spread the word about this formula. It is new, it is revolutionary, and I really want to spread the word, show people what it can do. And if you haven't downloaded the book, go ahead and do that now. I'll put a link below or above, depending on where you're watching this, and I will talk to you guys soon. Alright, thanks. Bye.